Okay, Disney Plus Hawkeye, six-part miniseries. Each episode's about 45 minutes long, and surprise, surprise, it's about the Avenger Hawkeye. Stars Jeremy Renner, as you'd expect, and also stars Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. It's set in the events after Endgame, and the plot surrounds the Ronin suit that Hawkeye wore in the 5-year period known as the Blip. That period between Thanos snapping his fingers and wiping out half the universe, and to when the Avengers restored everything. Basically, in that period, Hawkeye became the Ronin because he felt he'd lost everything, and just decided to wage an all-out war on organised crime, and more or less single-handedly wiped it out. But because of this, he naturally made loads of enemies in the criminal underworld. For reasons I'm not going to get into, the suit falls into the hands of Kate, and she's seen wearing it on television. So the criminal enemies that I mentioned earlier, they naturally think the Ronins return, so they come to it, to get their revenge, and Kate's going to bear the brunt of this. Hawkeye knows this, and so he feels like responsible, probably because he is. So he has to put things right. But Hawkeye, he's retired now. He's deaf. He's still guilt-ridden about Black Widow's death. He doesn't like and really tries to avoid all the attention he gets because he's an Avenger. And all he wants to do is just get home to his family for Christmas. The plot does branch off in a few directions as well, but I'm not going to get any more into that because I don't want to give anything away for you. Typical of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it has plenty of action and humour, and more or less the entire soundtrack is Christmas songs because it's set at Christmas. And this makes it really light-hearted, but it does make the transition from light-heartedness to serious action really well. It's really done seamlessly. And I'm really glad that Hawkeye has been given the limelight now, because even though we don't get to see his origin story in this, we do get to know him really well. And I always felt sorry for him in the Avengers films, because even though he's one of the founding members of the Avengers, he was almost like a bit part player. We never got to know him as well as we got to know all the other Avengers. And I think the reason that he's now got his own show is because Marvel suddenly realised that he is actually the greatest Avenger. Think about it. The Avengers have him in the team in Avengers Assemble, and they win. He's in the team in Age of Ultron, and they win. He's not in Infinity War, and they lose. He's back in the team in Endgame, and they win. Coincidence? I think not. And if that don't convince you, what other archer do you know who would face an alien invasion with 20 arrows and win? There you go. As far as I'm concerned, that's case closed. The show also introduced us to Kate Bishop, who ever since the Battle of New York and saw Hawkeye protecting people, has been absolutely obsessed with him and wants to be a hero just like him. And if you know your Marvel, you'll know that she was also one of the Young Avengers. And I like that Marvel are using these lesser known characters now in their new productions rather than just inventing characters. And what I thought was very clever of the creators of the show was that rather than use a large amount of the show through telling her origin, it's all explained in a simple 3-minute montage in the first episode. There was a rumour circulating that the female lead in Hawkeye was going to turn out to be Hawkeye and Black Widow's child. But let's be honest, if those two were going to have a child, it was going to turn out to be this girl. It's entertaining. The chemistry between Renner and Steinfeld is good, and they play off against each other really well, with Renner being deadpan and serious, and Steinfeld being full of excitement all the time because she's working with her idol. The show moves at quite a good pace. There are good supporting characters. One or two will be well known to Marvel fans, and one in particular, I'm not going to tell you who because it'll give it away. So this character that has been transitioned excellently from the comics to live action. The creators have done it really, really well. Got all the character traits perfectly. The character even speaks how you would imagine him to speak when you're reading the comics. The action sequences filmed really well and really directed well, and they look fantastic in Ultra HD. One or two of them may make you quiver. Quiver like bow and arrow. Okay, sorry. And the final episode is action packed, really exciting. But unlike other Marvel miniseries, it isn't littered with Easter eggs. I mean, there are one or two dotted around, but they're more just the little references to the line of Hawkeye comics. So yeah, I mean, there's not many Easter eggs in it at all. I mean, I don't know, maybe because it's set at Christmas, not Easter, but you know. But and there is the post-credit scene in the last episode is quite entertaining in a sort of cheesy, cringe-worthy way as well. But overall, I found it really entertaining. Great action sequences, good supporting characters, good acting all around, and I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 Stay Puffs out of 5. But as I always said, this is just my opinion. Please watch it yourself. Make up your own mind. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please put a like on it. And thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.